have a question for you that is a little off the position thing, but I think you'd be a good person to answer this. I get questions all the time about, because we talk about fear of tearing, and so we deal with a lot talking about that fear and trying to get a little bit of feeling of control, knowing what the steps are and things like that. But another big fear that comes up is peeing or pooping on the table when they're giving birth. And I'd like you, just as a birthing professional, just to speak to that a little bit, because it doesn't do them good to hear it from me,
Right.
but from someone who's actually there, that's a big fear that many people have currently. And so if you wouldn't mind speaking to that for a minute, that would be great.
Of course. Yeah. It is one of the biggest things that I think in some situations can hold people back from pushing effectively. And the fact of the matter is, if you're peeing or pooping, you're pushing correctly because those
Love
are the
that.
same muscles. And so, I wouldn't be afraid of it because if that's happening, it's what needs to happen to be pushing effectively. And a lot of times things need to be, pushed out of the way for a baby's head to come down through that same space. So, and speaking as somebody who has, been doing this for a long time, we don't care.
Exactly.
We don't
Exactly.
care at all. Depending on the situation, you're going to either be cleaned up before you probably even know it, or we're just going to ignore it and move on because it's a sign of progress.
Terrific. Terrific. I think it helps to hear it, like I said, from someone like you who's actually there doing it. So that's
Yes.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Tara, anything else you'd like to add? This has been fabulous information.
And really just I think I want to encourage people to just ask questions,
Mhm.
I know appointment times are short and that sort of thing, but if you have any way to just kind of get in there and ask those questions and get your fears alleviated ahead of time.
Yeah,
I personally love questions because it means that somebody is engaged in their care. So
that's terrific advice. Terrific advice. Well, gosh, if anyone wanted to get in touch with you, Tara, what would they do? How would they get in touch?
probably the best place. I'm not on any social media other than the LinkedIn, so feel free to share that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's probably the best place to get a hold of me at this time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your expertise. I know the people watching are going to really appreciate it as well. So thanks so much for your time, Tara.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Of course.